And the number 5 spot goes to strip mining. And the reason strip mining is so low on the list, despite being one of the safest options, is the fact that emeralds spawn in veins of 1. And because of this, it can be very difficult to actually find one. Now see with that gold there, I only had to see one of them to know the rest of the vein was there. But with emerald, because they only spawn in a vein of 1, unless you see the exact block, you're not actually going to end up finding the emerald. And as a result, strip mining is generally just not a good option. With other minerals, it works very well because you can just see one and know the rest are there. But with emeralds, it just does not work the same way. Number 4 spot on the list goes to cave mining. And cave mining is generally quite good. It's a little bit safer than ravines, however there's less chance of finding the emerald because it is of course less exposed. A good positive on this as well is you're quite likely to find other minerals like diamond, etc. And the chances of mobs though are higher than strip mining, but generally a lot higher chance than strip mining of finding the emerald. For this I would advise definitely bringing a bucket of water in order to get rid of lava that is blocking your path towards your emeralds. Maybe a couple of them as well, just in case you mess one up and lose it. The 3 spot on the list goes to mining in a ravine. And the reason this has gotten fairly high on the list is the fact that emeralds are generally quite common here, but of course you do need to be in an extreme hills biome in order to find them, because they only spawn in that biome, which is a bit of a downside. Another downside to it being that you'd actually have to as well be cautious of mobs in a ravine, where in a strip mine or something you actually wouldn't, because it's generally less likely you're going to be attacked by mobs. If you do choose to be using this technique, I would advise a good sword and potentially iron armor as well. The 2nd spot on the list goes to finding generated structures such as jungle temples and desert temples. Now these are very high on the list because they're relatively easy to find as long as you can find said biome. And as well as that, once you've found them, you normally get a couple of emeralds. It's one of the most common things you find in them. They used to be a little bit more common when emeralds were first introduced. That keeps hitting me repeatedly, doesn't it? But they still do have a lot of stuff in them. And as well as that, not only just emeralds you're getting different things as well. You're getting this mossy cobblestone, maybe some redstone, and of course the other chest contents such as diamonds, etc. The one downfall with generated structures is once you've found one, you then have to go further and further before you find another one. And it can generally, at a certain point, you do end up in a situation where the distance you're going to find another generated structure is just too far realistically. Finally, the number 1 spot goes to finding a village and then trading with the villagers. Now this has made it to the top of the list because you can find villages in multiple biomes, not just one. You can find them in deserts as well as plains, whereas something like a temple, say it's a jungle temple, can only be found in a jungle. And as a result, it's a lot harder to find them. Another good reason that these are high on the list is because that it's actually the only sustainable way to get emeralds in the game. And that's because you can continually trade with the villagers, and you just generally can't run out. A good tip would be to protect the village in some way, maybe make a wall or moat around the village, or you could use iron doors to protect the villagers from zombies. I would also suggest that you collect their crops, because some of them actually trade for crops, and if you can get their crops, you're basically then essentially just getting village emeralds for free, because you're not doing the work with the crops, you're just simply harvesting them. And that leads me on to the final point, in the fact that by farming emeralds this way, you're essentially not having to farm emeralds directly, because you're farming other things you would have farmed anyway, like meat, etc. And therefore, by obviously doing that, you're actually getting emeralds for not doing what you would really just be classed as mining emerald. It's just what you would normally do. You're mining, you're potentially mining coal, or you're farming crops, which you would normally always do, and you're just getting emeralds out of it as almost like a secondary incentive to do so. Hopefully you found this video helpful or in any way informative. Be sure to put your top 5 in the comments below, and thanks for watching.